I know a lot of us are
Absolutely.
complaining about the heat right now, but obviously things could be much worse.
Absolutely, yeah. Certainly things tend to be very, very calm when we get these very warm weather systems overhead. So that's what we're seeing right now. It actually looks beautiful out there in Vancouver. This is our Maryhill Tasting Room and Bistro camera. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s right now and lots of sunshine. Just stunning out there. And look how nice out along the beach. Also tons of sunshine. I don't see a single cloud in the shot here. This is our Shiloh Inns camera in Seaside. 70 degrees, so it's actually warmer out along the coast than inland right now. We'll take a look at that a little bit later. But let's talk about air quality because I know we mentioned the fire smoke that's overhead. Right now things look really good. I'm seeing green dots here, good air quality all around the metro area. Almost as you get all the way down south to Eugene, and then you start to see those yellow dots, which means moderate air quality as you get closer to that Cedar Creek fire, which is down there by Oak Ridge, which is still seeing pretty bad air quality because of that. So current temperatures across the region look like this. Again, mid to upper 60s here up and down the valleys, warmer along the coast for now, low 70s. That'll be changing as we heat up more quickly here inland. And east of the Cascades, seeing a combination of 60s and 70-degree temperatures currently. So here's your 24-hour temperature change. We're already warmer than we were at this point yesterday. So 4 degrees warmer right now in Portland, much warmer out along the coast. Look at that temperature difference for Newport, 14 degrees warmer now than we were at noon yesterday. So we're thinking more record warm days are ahead. It's been an extremely warm start to October. Today we're forecasting 80 degrees, which would break a record if this comes true. Record is 78, and we've just got more 80-degree days ahead of us. So taking a look here at Thursday, 82 is what we're going with. That would also break a record if it comes true. And Friday will still be in the low 80s. We'll have to see if we hit that record, which is 82 for the day. Certainly we have lots of sunshine ahead. Take a look at our graph forecast model here. You can see that east wind blowing through the gorge into the metro area. This is 10 o'clock tonight. Mostly clear skies. Tomorrow morning, maybe we see a few thin high clouds east of the Cascades, but mostly clear here in the valleys, and lots of sunshine Thursday evening, even along the coast. Lots of sunshine for everybody. Friday morning, maybe a few more clouds, but nice and bright afternoon and evening, and the sunny conditions will continue to Saturday, which looks to be our warmest day here in our 7-day forecast. So 80-degree temperatures through Saturday. We're thinking mid-80s on Saturday. Sunday starting to cool down. We'll see a few more clouds late in the day, and we're finally dropping back down into the low to mid 70s Monday and Tuesday. We've even got a slight sprinkle chance on Monday. Mia?